On the phone is Representative Michele Bachmann of Minnesota. Representative, no doubt you listened to the speech. What was your take?
Well, I think that we know now, Eric, why historically and for good reason the United States has been reluctant to put United States forces under operational foreign command like NATO, because like so many other things, President Obama wants to have it both ways. He wants to both be the humanitarian with United States soldiers, our military, our money, and yet he also wants to wash his hands of a war that's of his making, and he can't do that. This is President Obama's war, as long as our troops and our treasure remain at risk under NATO command. And it's interesting, he's the commander-in-chief, he's responsible for them, and yet he doesn't want to leave. So he has to answer, and there's two things that the president failed to answer tonight. The first is that it appears that Obama may be backing a very dangerous element in Libya, because last Friday the Daily Telegraph reported that al-Qaeda affiliated veterans from Iraq and Afghanistan are among the rebels that the U.S. is supporting against Afghanistan. This is very troubling. We need to ask President Obama why he is supporting al-Qaeda affiliated veterans. Second, on Sunday, we learned that Secretary of Defense Gates admitted that Gaddafi is not a threat to the United States, and that United States intervention does not serve a vital United States interest. Again, the president failed to address Secretary Gates' shocking admission.
Representative, what's more troubling to you? Look, I've spent a lot of time in business, and one thing you really learn is anyone can get into a trade, into a business, but you have to know when to get out. Do we know when we're getting out of Libya? That's got to be an important thing for us, doesn't it?
Of course it does. And it almost appeared that the president was trying to say mission accomplished, what he had accused President Bush of doing. Because the president seems to want to be patting himself on the back right now, that he's handing over command to NATO, that again, he's absolving himself of responsibility and washing his hands, but he can't absolve himself of this war. Because this is his war, and there is no endgame. He is giving over foreign command. We have no idea how we'll ever get out of this. As long as the United States will be paying the majority of the tab, why would NATO feel that they'd have any obligation to end this conflict?
Exactly. That's what we talked about just in the opening of the show. Although NATO's taking over quote-unquote command, we are still on the hook for the tab of the price tag. By the way, we've already spent nearly $1 billion, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's right. And the president said that now apparently the Obama doctrine is to use the United States military to intervene in foreign countries' affairs for, quote, humanitarian purposes. He's following the advice of his advisor, Samantha Powers. This is a radical departure from United States foreign policy, and the president did this unilaterally without consultation with Congress, other than he had a brief bipartisan meeting with a couple of leaders on Friday. But the Friday before the president made his decision, Congress was in Washington, D.C., and he started the war a day or so later. So the president made this decision unilaterally, and he's gone in exactly in the places where he shouldn't have gone into Libya. For instance, he's taken the side of the Palestinians against Israel.
All right. Representative, we're going to say thank you very much for staying up with us tonight. I appreciate your time.
Hey, you're welcome. Bye-bye, Eric.
Bye-bye, Michelle. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't say Congresswoman. All right, the most